Well, over lockdown, I've heard of lots of people taking on new hobbies or learning new things while they can't maybe get out and do the things that they would normally do. One of the things that I've enjoyed, or one of the things that I've done over lockdown, is I have relearned how to make a cake, a sponge cake with egg in it. And you might be thinking, why is she telling us that she can make a cake with egg in it? Well, up until relatively recently, there are people in my family, if they ate egg, it would make them very sick. But now, very exciting, they can have a little bit of egg if it's baked. So I'm back to baking cakes with egg in it. And one of the things I really love about this sponge cake recipe is the difference between the egg before and after. So it's quite a dramatic difference. So what you need to do is you need to take some eggs and crack them and pop them in a bowl like this. Then you need to add 500 grams of sugar. So we pop that in there. And then the bit that I like best, you then need to beat it with a whisk for 5 minutes. Wow, look at the egg now. The before and after are really different. In today's true story from the Bible, we see a dramatic change before and after in a man's life. And this dramatic change happens when a man meets Jesus. As we listen to the story, can you spot what the man was like before he met Jesus? They went across the Sea of Galilee to the area of the Gerasenes. Jesus got out of the boat. A man controlled by an evil spirit came from the tombs to meet him. The man lived in the tombs. No one could keep him tied up anymore. Not even a chain could hold him. His hands and feet had often been chained, but he tore the chains apart and he broke the iron cuffs on his ankles. No one was strong enough to control him. Night and day he screamed among the tombs and in the hills. He cut himself with stones. When he saw Jesus a long way off, he ran to him. He fell on his knees in front of him. He shouted at the top of his voice, "Jesus, Son of the Most High God, what do you want with me? Swear to God that you won't hurt me." This was because Jesus had said to him, "Come out of this man, you evil spirit." Then Jesus asked the demon, "What is your name?" "My name is Legion," he replied. "There are many of us." Then he begged Jesus again and again not to send them out of the area. A large herd of pigs was feeding on the nearby hillside. When the demons begged Jesus, "Send us among the pigs. Let us go into them." Jesus allowed it. The evil spirits came out of the man and went into the pigs. There were about 2,000 pigs in the herd. The whole herd rushed down the steep bank. They ran into the lake and drowned. So did you spot what the man was like before he met Jesus? He was controlled by an evil spirit. He was out of control. He was living in a graveyard. He was screaming a lot and he was hurting himself. He was pretty miserable. And when he saw Jesus coming, he threw himself at his feet. And all Jesus had to say was, "Come out of this man, evil spirit." And Jesus even gives the evil spirit permission to go into the pigs. So we see Jesus is fully in control of this evil spirit. He had power over the evil spirit. Over the last few weeks in our assembly videos, we've seen that Jesus has power over sin, over sickness, and even over death. And today we see that Jesus has power over evil spirits. Well, let's read the second half of the story. In this half of the story, can you spot the change in the man after the evil spirit has come out of him? Those who were tending the pigs ran off. They told the people in the town and countryside what had happened. The people went out to see for themselves. Then they came to Jesus. They saw the man who'd been controlled by many demons. He was sitting there. He was now dressed and thinking clearly. All this made the people afraid. Those who had seen it told them what had happened to the man. They told about the pigs as well. Then the people began to beg Jesus to leave their area. Jesus was getting into the boat. The man who had been controlled by demons begged to go with him. Jesus did not let him. He said, "Go home to your own people. Tell them how much the Lord has done for you. Tell them how kind he has been to you." So the man went away. In the area known as the 10 cities, he began to tell how much Jesus had done for him, and all the people were amazed. So did you spot what the man was like after Jesus had thrown out the evil spirit? He was completely changed, wasn't he? He was fully clothed and he was in his right mind. He was thinking clearly. Jesus has power over evil spirits, and he was able to change the man because he was able to throw out the evil spirit. And you know, Jesus came to destroy evil by dying on the cross. And you know, he will destroy evil forever when he returns again. If we put our trust in Jesus, we can be changed too. Do you remember my baking? Well, I've made my cake and it's come out of the oven and it looks very, very different. And I have cut my cake into little heart-shaped cakes. And you know, the best thing about making cakes like this is you get to choose what sort of toppings you put on them. So I've chosen the topping for my first cake. Yep, you've got it. You're right. It's sticky, yucky Marmite. Why did I choose that? Well, remember, we've been learning in Assembly about the fact that we all turn away from God and that we don't go his way, and that we tell God that we want to live life our own way. And remember, that's called sin, and sin separates us from God. And it's a bit like that icky, gooey Marmite on my cake, because you know, sin is a problem with our heart, isn't it? What about Jesus? Jesus never turned away from God. He lived the perfect life. And it's a bit like this cake, his heart. He didn't sin. He didn't turn away from God. And do you know something? Jesus died on the cross to take the punishment for our yucky sin. He took our yucky sin on him. And he was punished for our sin, so that we can be given, so that we can be forgiven, and we can be given and his righteousness, his rightness with God. We can be seen by God as right with him. And because of that, we can be friends with God, and we can live for him. We can live, change lives, because Jesus, by dying on the cross, has forgiven us and taken away our sin, and we can be seen as right with God. And we can tell others this good news. Remember the man whose evil spirit was thrown out? He wanted to go with Jesus, but Jesus told him, no, tell others about what I've done for you. And he went and told others the good news of Jesus. We can do the same. So Jesus has power and authority over evil. He will one day destroy evil. So for this week's challenge, I want you to take a picture of something before and take a picture of something afterwards. And as you do it, I want you to remember how Jesus had power over evil spirits and was able to change this man's life. And that if we put our trust in Jesus, he can change our lives too. We can be forgiven because of what he's done for us. Bye!